guys, good morning. How's it going? It's a beautiful Wednesday morning here and I'm sitting in my car and I wanted to share something with you guys that just happened. So this morning I thought I had a massage booked. So I got up and we had hubby come home. He took his lunch break early so that he could watch the baby, so that I could go to my massage. So I drove to my massage, and I was sitting outside Buddy's door, and then, 5 minutes passed, 10 minutes passed, 30 minutes passed, and I was like, man, like, it's really weird that I'm sitting here waiting for 30 minutes. It doesn't seem normal. So one of the gals who worked there slipped a little note under his door. And then Buddy came out and he was like, I'm so sorry, like, you're double booked. So I was like, oh, like, that's okay. Now, just take a second and, like, think about this. So, like, I got out of the house this morning. I had driven, thinking I was going to get a massage because I've been having some, like, pain lately. And I was like, all right, I'm doing this. I'm getting this massage. Like, I really need this for my neck and my shoulders. And I got there and then I find out that it's not going to happen. So what would your first reaction be? When something was supposed to happen and then you just get thrown this complete curveball. I know the old me would have probably been a little upset, been a little frustrated, maybe been a little pissed off, maybe been annoyed, maybe been angry. That's usually our first reaction, our initial reaction when something happens that's, off the plan, when it doesn't go as expected, when life throws you that curveball. But instead, this is one of the things that I've really been working on in my life. When things don't go as planned, when something's out of my control, that's when I really work to just, like, let it go. When there's something that you can't control, the only thing in that situation that you can control is your reaction and your mood, your attitude. Instead of being like, oh, this is unacceptable, I could have easily been pissed off at him. I could have, like, torn him a new one, being like, I drove here, I waited for half an hour, and, instead I was like, oh my gosh, don't worry about it. He was like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, don't worry about it. It happens. I'm gonna rebook. That's cool. That's all good and fine. But on the way home, when I was driving home, I was thinking to myself about how, really the old me, I would have been so annoyed. I would have been so upset. I would have been frustrated. But instead, as I was driving home, I was thinking of all the reasons why it was awesome that this happened today, and trying to think of the reasons why, like, maybe it happened the way that it did for a reason. Because I like to think, no matter how big or small something is, I like to think that it happens for a reason. So on my drive home, I was thinking to myself, okay, what are some of the reasons for why this happened today the way that it did? So first of all, I was like, all right, to be honest, okay, so Tiffany missed the beginning. So what happened? Okay, so I had a massage booked for today. And I got up and I drove to the massage and I sat there and I waited for half an hour, and then it found out that Buddy had double booked. So I had sat there for half an hour waiting for my massage therapist to come out, and then turns out he double booked. So no massage for me today. But what I'm talking about is how I reacted, how I would have reacted a few years ago. And then how I reacted today. So for Tiffany and Jess, who are just getting caught up, and for anyone else. So that's what happened. And I'm talking about how I'm handling it instead. So it would have been really easy for me to get pissed off, to get frustrated, to get annoyed, to take it out on him, to be like, I'm never coming back here again, this is unacceptable. Or even to be like, I could have handled it in so many ways. But I chose to handle it in a way where I was like, you know what, dude, like, it happens, don't worry about it. So instead, I was driving home and thinking of all the reasons why it happened the way that it did. All the good reasons that it happened the way it did. Because again, I believe that everything happens for a reason. Everything, no matter how big, how small, how good or bad, it happens for a reason. And this is just a small situation. This is a small example of how you can take a situation and turn it into something good. So again, when you can't control a situation, when something's out of your control, the thing that you can control is how you react, your attitude, right? So again, now you guys are caught up. So when I was driving home, I was trying to think of, I was like listing all the reasons why it was awesome that this happened the way it did, and then all the good reasons. And so, immediately I started having all these just like awesome reasons why it happened. So the first one I thought of was, it's like any parents out there might be able to understand this. It's like when you know that you're going to get a break from your kids, it's like you love them even more. And then when afterwards you love them even more too when you get that little break. So I knew that Adam was going to take his lunch early today so that he was going to be home and that I was going to get a little break from the baby. So this morning I found that I was like super patient with her. Brooke loves that. so I found that I was super patient. I was like having so much fun. I was giving her like all my energy and like whipping out my best jokes with her and like cracking her up and reading stories and like running around because I was like, cool, like I'm gonna get a little bit of a break here for a while. So I think parents there can relate. So that's awesome. That means that Rowan and I had an awesome morning. We had lots of fun, lots of giggles and chuckles and tickles and stories and cuddles. So we had an awesome morning. And if I hadn't been going out of the house, then maybe I would have just been like kind of like semi-lazy mom and like, just sat on the floor and let her run around me or something instead of engaging with her that much. So that's one thing. Another thing is I got that little bit of a break, which as a parent, again, it's always awesome. I mean, yeah, you miss your kids, you love your kids, but it's so important to get that little bit of break from them. So right now, in the meantime, like Adam put her down for her nap. So even though I'm home now, I'm going to get to go home and I'm going to get another like little bit of a break because like Adam already put her down for her nap. Another thing is, this is the time of day when I normally work out. So I had planned the massage this time of day. So that meant that I was going to have to do my workout later today. And I am not great at doing my workouts later in the day. I'm the type of person, if I don't do it early in the day, then I just make up too many excuses and too many reasons to not do it. So this means now I'm going to get to go in the house and do my workout, and I'm going to have that done, and I'm not going to have any excuses to do it. So, that's already 3 awesome reasons. Another reason, and this one is just like, it could, again, like when I was driving to the massage, I was listening to the radio. And I never listen to AM, but Adam always has it on AM because where we live out in the country, we don't get the XM radio. So I have to wait until I get like into the city to listen to XM. So I had the AM radio on, and they were talking about how it's the 15th anniversary of 9/11, which I hadn't even realized. I hadn't realized that 15 years had already passed. And then it put me back into thinking of like, oh my gosh, where was I 15 years ago? And I remembered like, hearing about 9/11 when it was happening. I remember being in high school and watching it on the TV in the tech lab in the class that I was in at the time. So that kind of brought me back. And then that allowed me to just kind of send out love to the people who that affected. And, that was something that if I hadn't been in the car at the time, I probably wouldn't have realized that. I wouldn't have remembered that 9/11, the anniversary is coming up and that it's been 15 years. So again, that was something I think that I needed to hear today to kind of remember that and to be able to honor people who had been affected by that. And just being able to, this was my first time going to meet this new massage guy. So even just getting to like say hi to him and like meet him in person and like to know where the building was, to know where his door was in the building, to know where to sit. So, that helps my anxiety for next time, right? Because I'm the type of person with my anxiety, I like to have everything planned ahead. Like even if I'm driving someplace new, I have to like, before I leave the house, in my head, I have it all planned out. I have to like know exactly like what route I'm taking and like where I'm going to park and all that. So, this was just a trial run for the time I do go so that there will be no anxiety next time. So that is just like in 60 seconds, those were kind of 5 of these reasons in my head for why I was able to come up with why it was that this happened the way it did today. So I just want this to be kind of an encouraging moment for you guys to remember that yes, everything happens for a reason, no matter how big or how small. But what is important is how you react, what your attitude is when something that is out of your control happens. So next time that something happens to you, like maybe there's an accident on the road and you are going to be late for work. Think to yourself, okay, why is this happening the way that it's happening? And maybe, you can say to yourself, wow, gosh, I'm really grateful that I got here after the accident, because if I'd gotten here, sooner, then maybe I would have been involved in the accident. So you can have that moment of of gratitude. Or maybe, gosh, maybe you got a speeding ticket, or you got a ticket for being on your phone or something like that when you're driving. And it'd be very easy for you to be frustrated and for you to be pissed off. But instead, think about it. Wow, you know what? This was an eye-opening experience for me. This was that warning that I needed to, remind me to not be on my phone when I'm driving. Whatever it is, I encourage you, especially when it's something that's out of your control. The only thing that you can control in those situations is your attitude and your reaction. So I encourage you, no matter what happens, to take a step back and think to yourself, okay, I know this is happening for a reason. So what is the reason for why this is happening the way that it's happening? And I encourage you to do that. And you will find that it changes your whole perspective on life. Like everything now, like for me, I used to be the type of person, like I would get frustrated so easily at things. I get annoyed at people so easily and just get I was quick to anger. And now I'm not, and it's changed. It's changed my whole life by being able to just change this simple thing of how I react to things that are out of my control. So anyway, I'm going to go in the house now and I'm going to do my workout, but I just wanted to hop on and share this with you guys because I know that I'm not alone. I'm not the only person who has experienced this where something out of your control happens. So this is just my little encouragement to you to kind of be aware of how you react in those situations to things that are out of your control. And if you can start changing how you react to things in that moment, then that's going to be able to change your entire life. It really is. Anyway, guys, thanks for hopping on. I see who we have. We got Liz and Terry Lynn and Brooke and Tiffany and Jess, Jill, Laura. Hey, guys, how's it going? Hope you're all having an awesome day. So this is my challenge to you. Give this a try, and I'd love to hear from you. If you, next time that something out of your control happens, I want you to think of me, think of this moment, and think of, how you can try to look at it from a different perspective. So I would love to hear how this little tip works for you next time that something happens that's out of your control. Anyway, guys, I hope you're having an awesome day, and I am going to go do my workout, and I will talk to you soon.